Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California, and today I wanted to do a pattern interrupt. Like, that film that came out many years ago that I never watched called Girl Interrupted? I'm thinking to myself, girl, why am I doing this? At first, it was a challenge, and I wanted to do a show every day for 30 days straight, thanks to Duck Vong, MD, retired mm, bariatric surgeon guy in the mountains of New Mexico, I think it is. And he's got a bed and breakfast. I think it's called Vita Bonita, but Vita Bonita, I think. I'm not sure. Or is it called something different now? Da, 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 da. I don't know. I don't remember. Honest to God, I just wanted to say I wanted not to not show up tonight. So I am here. That's why I'm here. That's all I wanted to say. That says why I'm here. The other thing I wanted to do was to say a little bit of what I think, because I think sometimes people want to know why you're there, what you're thinking, what the hell are you thinking? Sometimes they want to know, why do you think? You know, um, and today in the news, there's so much crap going on that people can't help but use obscenities to speak the truth because people are really mad. And it's really because we haven't hit all the algorithms in all the fucking right places. Pardon me. But all the algorithms in the world are not going to save your life if you don't think why, how, who, what, when, you know. Um so I thought I would say a little bit of what I think of what is going on around me, and also to say hello to the people that I've been missing for a while, like my bestie Patty Nelson, who passed. Um, I can't even remember when it was she passed. It's been at least a year now, or thereabouts. And some of my other besties that passed. I've lost three besties, and that's just been within the last 2 years, or maybe 3 years now. But I mean, these people were young. Everybody was about half of the hi. Hello. Hi there. I just thought I'd say hi tonight and didn't know what I was really going to talk about tonight, except to say I didn't want to let anybody down because I made a pattern. I didn't want to make a pattern interrupt, but I thought, well, I made a pattern of showing up every day for the last 5.5 years. And it's been a good run for my money because it got me going. And I will say something. Work is better. Thank you very much. Thank you for the lovely compliment. Uh, poised, poised. This is what I'll try to do: is be poised and say, "Oh, why, thank you." But anyway, my point is hardly that, and my my point is what I just forgot. Anyway, I wanted to say thanks for the lovely compliment. And I also wanted to say that stuff that's been going on in the news right now, I wanted to keep it real and say, okay, all these things I'm reading, I believe a lot of them are really good for our own good. Then I was just talking about algorithms. Do you know what an algorithm really is? An algorithm is the how to, and you're going to have to say the purpose of your algorithm. What's your algorithm? Well, the algorithm is to name the purpose first. The algorithm is to, I don't know what the definition of an algorithm is, look it up. But now we've got Google. When I was a kid, we had to take the streetcar to the public library, and I lived in a little big city called San Francisco. We call it a little big city because actually it's not that big geographically, but mileage wise, it's got 49 square miles in the city. But uh it's a big city for all intents and purposes because of the gold. Literally, have you ever heard of the gold rush? Well, that's our local history in San Francisco, California. 1848, Sutter's Mill was run over by all the people that as soon as somebody said that one freaking word, they locked him out of his own mill. Sutter's Mill, James Sutter or something, and the other guy. There were two of them. Called it Sutter's Mill, and then the people that heard about the gold, they kept him from mining on his own property. They did all kinds of land grab things, literally land grabs. So ever since that time, nobody has stopped coming to San Francisco. And then in the 90s, 1995 to be precise, in my book, in my history book, my personal history book, everybody found out about our weather. Our climate is like the best in the world of two places in the world, the Mediterranean Sea and the Mediterranean coast of California. The Mediterranean, well, we have a Mediterranean, some people call it a mesa climate. We have basically one season all year round, which is cold, warm, cool, sunny, foggy. Um, anyway, you'll find out more if you read about it. So my being in this place has given me a good, relaxed education of just, I mean, you have to live here and know that you're paying through the nose. My brother lives in Arizona, and his gasoline was what, $3.59 or something the other day. And over here it was almost like it was in the sixes something. I don't remember how much. Honestly, I don't when I think about it. That's how come I really don't remember. Not that I'm being dumb or anything. I mean, I literally have a receipt somewhere sitting around too because I bought gas the other day. But my point is, I love cats. I love cats. I love I love the truth. I love information. I love to analyze information. I used to hate people. Oh my god. But now I like people more than I used to. Oh, don't lie. Okay, I'm not lying. I think I like people more than I used to. But I'm not liking certain people in the world, and they're making the news really fucking hard for us to take. What do you mean prices are going up sky high? What do you mean I live paycheck to paycheck? What do you mean more than 60% of the people in USA are living paycheck to paycheck? What do you mean I have earthquakes here? What do you mean? We do have earthquakes here, but you know, and then they now have earthquakes in the heartland of America where there weren't any before because of fracking that now has become noticeable through the earthquakes because the fracking keeps us from buying oil from overseas and everything. My dad and my mom were in the oil business. We were consumers of the oil business. We had a retail chain of a few gasoline stations, and so I am a car driving girl. I love cars, and I don't have a big class license, but I used to drive a big class car, and that was my parents' car. So I'm a spoiled kid. I'm also an immigrant kid. I want one of my pet peeves is do not call me Generation Zero. I am an immigrant, which means I'm the first generation of Americans in my family. No, I was not born in this country, which means I'm not the first generation born in the United States, but I'm the first generation American citizen that is an American citizen in my family. So I call myself a first generation Chinese American. That's how well, you could say that, or you could say Asian American, or you could say, people used to say hyphen. Connie Chung, if you remember her, she was married to, Pov, Pov, Povlich? Povlich? I can't remember his name. Anyway, they were both in the media, and she said something about being a hyphenated American, and I thought, what what's wrong with calling myself a Chinese American? But then I realized, if you were looking at it semantically, it should have been American Chinese, American Asian person, because I'm an American first, you know anyway. Okay, what am I rambling about? I'm just rambling about how come I'm here. Oh, and by the way, I would like to read Maxine Hong Kingston's book. What's it called again? Where did I put it? It's called China Men, and it's titled China Men. It was written in the, I think, 70s, early 70s. I've had it since then. I kid you not, I lived a sheltered life, and I did not read that book for a decade. My cousin gave it to me, and I didn't dare read it because of my family. Maxine Hong Kingston is an Asian American of Chinese descent, and when she wrote that book, it was scandalous, and I just remember reading it and finishing it. By the time I was finished with high school, I had finally finished reading the book, but I had been given the book when I was 9 or 10. And so I read it. It took me a long time to read it. And so I want to read it because I want to see how I processed it. I try to process the book right in front of you guys, so you get a genuine reaction out of me. And oh my God, I have Larry Namer's picture on my refrigerator, and I read his book recently, um, Off Script: Recipes for Success, um, and never follow the crowd is his motto. And there's this part of the book that I was reading, and I was in stitches. I don't remember the last time prior to that I was in stitches on camera, but I was just shy. You gotta get that book, Off Script. Anyway, so I'm buying his next one too. And then I've got other authors that I've been reading too. On Fridays, I read from Dr. Brody Miller. Dr. Brody Miller is on Instagram, and he talks about brain rescue. A guide, a 90-day blueprint to reclaim your memory after a brain injury or concussion. And then on Saturdays, I tend to read from his colleague, Kevin Beck, Kevin Ballister. I want to say Bannister, but it's Ballister. Okay. I think that was a profession as well. Anyway, so then, and he wrote a book titled How to Feed a Brain, optimal nutrition for no nutrition for optimal brain function and repair. So Fridays and Saturdays are like that. And then every day on Instagram I read from the rules handbook, and I've been doing it for almost a year. I didn't go onto Instagram until very recently, until I started to do that. I didn't know what else to do on Instagram because I didn't know how to use the platform. So now I'm stuck doing it until I get to the end of the year. And in the meantime, I started out doing this entire thing with the content of Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider's books. Now, they've written this whole series as well. They're on dating, women dating men mostly. And so Thursdays are all about that. I'm keeping it that way. Thursdays, Tuesdays, historically, I've read from them on Tuesdays, and I'm noticing that I'm getting, I'm not, I'm trying to increase my viewership, and I'm trying to get to Streamyard. Excuse me, I'm on Streamyard. I'm trying to get. Oh God, don't sound stupid. Come on. What was the other place I was trying to go to? Oh, Substack. And I don't know what that word comes from, but stacks are from like libraries. The stacks of the libraries are places where people don't tend to. Forget that. Forget that. What else was I gonna say? Mondays. Gavin Newsom, the guy that I would like to see in office a little while longer because he's a reasonable person. He's not threatening to kill people. He's not actually making people kill people. He's not creating concentration camps. Don't get me started on the fact that we have concentration camps in this country right now. That's pissing me off. And then Sundays, hot lessons from Cool Runnings. It's called Keep on Pushing by Mr. Devon Harris, who is a Jamaican mm, person who did the Jamaican bobsledding. Um, anyway, he was an Olympian. He is an Olympian. I've shaken his hand. He's a nice guy. He smiles all the time. And what else? Saturdays, Fridays, Thursdays, Wednesdays. How could we possibly forget? How could we possibly forget? Um, George J. Chanos. Uh, George J. Chanos is a man that has different political leanings than the ones I have, but he is one of the wisest people I've ever met. And he wrote a book titled Millennial Samurai Book One. I should be showing you all the books that I've been reading. Holy cow. They're not all called cow. They're not all holy. But anyway, well, maybe they are all holy. Otherwise, I wouldn't be reading them, right? I'm gonna end it here before I put my foot in my mouth for too long and suffocate from it. Okay. So I will see you tomorrow. I'll talk to you then. And I'll talk again about the old Kinderhook, the man that came from Kinderhook, New York, who became our eighth president, James Monroe. He wanted to see things end okay. That's where we get okay from. His name was Old Kinderhook. So did you make sure it was Old Kinderhook? Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Old Kinderhook.